Joining us live is the Queensland Premier David Crisafulli. Premier, good morning. The information that you are getting today, just how bad or troubling is it?
Yeah, Peter, there's been a lot of rain over a very short period of time and there is more to come. And we've been speaking about an area between Cairns and Mackay, and we're urging residents to please listen to the advice and stay in contact with communications. To give you an example, in Townsville, there's what's defined as the black zone, half a dozen suburbs close to the city. 2 days ago, we had residents door knocked, so we had the ADF and SES and police and fireys go door to door and warn people to prepare. Yesterday they were asked to leave at midday, and we're asking them today, please don't go back to those homes because the modelling is showing that the water could continue to rise. It's been an amazingly monsoonal event, Peter, and we just want Queenslanders to first and foremost look after themselves, and then the recovery will begin in the days ahead once that water starts dissipating.
Yeah, and look, this is early days, of course, but I mean, do you have any idea what this damage bill could be, Premier?
Look, dollars run a vast distance second to people, and yesterday, tragically, we lost somebody, and that really hurts when that happens. So first and foremost, it's about people, and we're doing all we can to give information as clearly and as consistently as possible. An example is, for example, school closures. We got that information out yesterday so that people can prepare whether or not they have to find alternate arrangements for their children if they're doing things. We'll do that again today at the same time on the same platform. I just like things to be consistent and calm and considered. Yeah. And ultimately, I want people to know that if they stay connected and if they heed the advice, they can remain safe. Yeah. And ultimately, that's far more important. Now, you do raise a good point, though, and that is the recovery. I'm a big believer in betterment, and I intend to use this in the weeks, months and years ahead to shine a spotlight on not just rebuilding the same thing in the same location and expecting a different result. You've got to build resilience into it. That's something that we'll be talking a lot more about, I can assure you.
In terms of financial assistance, what extra will be made available for those who might have nothing after this? Yeah, Peter. We had the Federal Minister here yesterday at the disaster headquarters. We're very grateful for that. In partnership, we've triggered some personal hardships for many of the affected areas. I expect that will be expanded today. The councils have also been triggered, so they can then go in and begin the clean-up and do their end of the bargain and have support for that. That's really important. And then there's the next phase, and some of the images coming out of, for example, the Bruce Highway, massive holes in that road. And you know my view about the Bruce Highway, it's a goat track and it's the lifeblood of these communities, and events like this show that. So I'm determined to make sure, and we've explained we've got a 10-year vision for the Bruce, and we've secured commitments from both sides of politics federally to begin that work, and in my mind this is an opportunity to start building some resilience into that. We saw you get emotional yesterday, Premier, understandably, as Ingham, it's your home and it's more personal for you. How are you feeling about that this morning?
Well, they've lost one of their own, Pete. There's about 10,000 people in Ingham, so you don't get any more tight-knit than a community like that. So that's number one. But also to see the images of people's homes and businesses and farms, they're people I grew up with. So, of course, it's personal, but ultimately we've got a job to do, and that job is to make sure that people get the message and put themselves safe. But in the months and years ahead, you bet we're going to rebuild those communities. They mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to Queensland.
When do you hope to get there, Premier?
Very soon, Peter. We've got another meeting here of all of the disaster groups, but it's important that I do get on the ground and hear firsthand. For now, it's important that people heed the warnings, because the modelling is showing more rain to come and indeed more water to come through the system. So there's two elements. One is the flash flooding. We had 11 swiftwater rescues overnight in the area. Now, we had pre-positioned a few days ago swiftwater rescue teams, water police, SES. We'd done that ahead of the floods, and thank goodness that happened. They were put to good use
many hundreds of calls for the SES, so they're on the ground. But yeah, I'll be taking the opportunity to get there shortly.
Right.
It's important that I do.
All right, a busy morning for you, and I appreciate you sharing some time with us this morning. Premier David Crisafulli there in Queensland. Thank you so much, Premier. We'll chat again soon.